Going on, family? We're back here again with another one. Um, as always, man, we preaching peace and love, no judgment. Um, that being said, I did run across a video that was doing a whole lot of that, so I wanted to talk about it because the conversation that we have with each other aren't really conversations; they're just a word fight, right? But in order to work things out, we got to communicate about it first. So let's get into it.
Black men, black men, black men. Hello.
Jesus Christ.
I am a black woman, as you can see. And I would like to know, well, maybe we would like to know, black women, what do you expect from us?
I don't think black men expect a damn thing when it comes to black women out here in 2025 in the single dating market.
Ladies, there's a lot of hate in this young man. Now, I don't know him personally, and I'm not judging anybody because nobody should be the judge of another. However, it's a bit disheartening to see men being so bitter to our mothers, our aunties, our cousins, our wives, our daughters, our girlfriends, because like that's what you are to us. Guys have gotten into the habit of painting a broad stroke across all women, especially black women. And when you speak of them in the totality, you're talking about all of it. You're talking about the ones you love and the ones you hate. You're talking about your future, your past, and your present. Instead of just when you talk about them as a totality, as like this monolithic thing that's one individual, like they're not, that's not productive. It's not productive to hate. It's not productive to hate each other, and it's not productive to be tired of each other either. Which I know is easier said than done. But my point is, it's worth the effort that we're not putting in to like just do better and be better together towards each other. Because anytime somebody feel the way that this young man does about women, I'm not saying anybody wrong, I'm not saying anybody right. What I'm saying is it's never because of nothing. Nobody ever feels that strongly about something for no reason, right? Whether that reason is wrong or right, I'm not saying that. I'm saying there is a reason why people are the way that they are. I don't want to dive into it because it's not my place, nor my intention to judge anything, but I just see a lot of hate. And I see the hate that's around me and that's not around me, and I understand that it's all connected. Like the thoughts and the feelings and the emotions that some of us feel is what all of us feel. We just have a different perspective on why, but we definitely need to stop hating each other, stop pushing each other away, and start communicate to find some resolutions for all of these issues that we have with each other, because a lot of times they're valid. But let's see what bro got to say.
You're either the thing that men want, or you're not. Okay, there's no shades of gray when it comes to what men are.
And honestly, you can't paint a broad stroke around men either, because there is not something that men want. We're all different. We all different expressions of what man is. It's like, if there's one thing that man wants, it's like we're not all gonna all feel the same way about it. So ain't no standard for a woman to say this is what men she want, and there's no standard for men to say this is what we all want. You can only speak for your person, for yourself. You can't say what we all need, what we all desire in our hearts as one monolithic thing. Like, you can't say that the thing that we all have in our hearts looks the same way to everybody. You can't, that's not true.
Looking for, right? So the fact that we're still asking this question in 2025 is crazy. But I do want to go ahead and play what some of the men on the internet are saying when it comes to women talking about where are the good men.
This video is dedicated to all of you ladies out there that's always asking, where did the good men go? I'm going to be a gentleman and help you understand why you're single with a bunch of kids by multiple baby daddies and you keep running into boys. The good man that you're looking for now, you was in a...
Even if that is true, and that's your, and those are your circumstances, don't let anybody make you feel like you're a bad person for that, because you're not. You made some decisions at some point in your life, at certain parts of your life, that left you with outcomes that changed the choices that you have and changed the perception that other people have of you, because now interacting with you is different. It is. It's different now that you have changed your circumstances than they were before you did that, period. And just like any man who wanted you, any man who preferred the circumstances that you had before you changed everything about what you got going on, they're going to feel differently about you after your circumstances have changed drastically. Because they're not just picking up you, they're picking up what you bring.
a relationship with him a couple of years back. You remember that? Well, you took him for granted. You lied to him. You cheated on him. You stabbed him in the back. You f***ed that up. The good man that you're looking for now, well, he asked you out on a date. You agreed and you flaked. You didn't even fucking show up. The good man that you're looking for now, for whatever reason, you pushed him in the friend zone. You thought he wasn't good enough for you. So you pushed him in the friend zone, made him wait, didn't give him none, right? And you used him as a emotional tampon to basically vent to him about all of the other guys you was getting smashed by. So if you're a woman watching this video and you're 30, 35 plus years old, you got 2, 3 kids by 2 or 3 different baby daddies, and you keep running into you created that situation for yourself.
I mean, boom, there it is.
I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. A lot of the things that we all hear being complained about on a regular basis in regards to like how men are towards, like a lot of the stuff that people complain that men do is like stuff you would do after you got treated the way that guys got treated. Like, all of the stuff that women be saying they do to guys, all of the stuff that women complain about guys doing, makes sense. Like, I'm not justifying nothing, but a lot of the stuff that people constantly complain about men being this way or doing these things, it's like exactly what you would do if you got treated the way you say you treat them. And that's just like crazy that it's not expected more than it is for guys to do the stuff that, like, honestly, in a lot of cases, it's really more surprising that guys don't behave in the way that we're complained about, considering the treatment that we get when we behave as the man that we're told to. Like, for a man to act in the way that women say they're supposed to, they get treated like that. They get treated like the guy that everybody laugh at. Yeah. And then they stop. And then they see that this is not working out for me. I'm not getting the outcomes that I want from the decisions that I'm making. So they start making different ones. And then instead of being who they want to be, didn't get them what they were seeking. So, and at that point, it's like, if I'm being a nice guy, if I'm being a genuine dude, and this is not all of them, like, not every nice guy or genuine dude gets treated like this. However, if you are a nice guy and you do get treated like that, you know, it makes less sense to you to continue doing it. It makes more sense to you start paying attention to your environment. Okay, who's getting the things that I'm seeking? Like, what are they doing, right? And then you find yourself recalling all the things that you were told at that point, like late women always telling you that the guys that they complain about, the guys that they don't like, the guys that they don't get treated well by, they keep complaining about them. Right? And then you, at a certain point, it kind of dawns on you that, well, in order for you to continuously have this person to complain about, you have to continuously be there in the environment where they're giving you things to complain about. Like, that's it. That's where you stay. That's where you be. That's what you think about. That's what you long for. This constant nagging in your heart, this constant pain in your heart, like that's where your energy went. Your energy went into fixing that, and your energy went into trying to make something work that wasn't working. So if I can be that conflict, then I can then get the energy from you that I'm seeking, versus what I've been getting from doing what you told me to do, what you asked me to do, what you wanted me to do. Well, I don't even know if that's what you want, really, because you didn't respond the way that you said you would.
Right, so the fact that we're still asking this question in 2025 is crazy, but I do want to go ahead and play what some of the men on the internet are saying when it comes to women talking about where are the good men.
This video is dedicated to all of you ladies out there that's always asking, where did the good men go? I'm gonna be a gentleman and help you understand why you're single with a bunch of kids by multiple baby daddies and you keep running into boys. The good man that you're looking for now, you was in a relationship with him a couple of years back. You remember that? Well, you took him for granted, you lied to him, you cheated on him, you stabbed him in the back. You that up. The good man that you're looking for now, well, he asked you out on a date, you agreed, and you flaked. You didn't even show up. The good man that you're looking for now, for whatever reason, you pushed him in the friend zone. You thought he wasn't good enough for you. So you pushed him in the friend zone, made him wait, didn't give him none, right? And you used him as a emotional tampon to basically vent to him about all of the other guys you was getting smashed by. So if you're a woman watching this video and you 30, 35 plus years old, you got 2, 3 kids by 2 or 3 different baby daddies, and you keep running into, you created that situation for yourself.
I mean, boom, there it is. I mean, that's the harsh.
Ladies, that's a lot of hate. I'm not saying this right or wrong. I'm just saying that's a lot of hate to have for somebody. And not just for somebody, but like a whole group of people. And it's for a whole group of people, not even individuals. That's wild that men feel this way at all about women, period. Like, I know that that's really common for men and women to not be on the same page, but if you take a second to really just think about it logically, it don't make sense that we don't get along better than we do. Like, I don't even want women to despise men as much as these men despise women. Like, if you take a second to think about it, it doesn't make sense that we're the missing pieces of each other and we don't fit together anymore. That's common, but that's not normal. That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for us to be so disagreeable with each other on both ends. It doesn't make sense that this man feels that way about women, not a woman, not the individuals that he had experiences with, but women. That is wild that these guys feel that way about women. And I'm not talking about what they're saying, what they're accusing them of, what they're saying that all of the things that they do mean about them. I'm saying just the fact that they feel like they do about women in general, mainly black women, but just women, period, really. That's crazy for us to have that type of environment. We definitely gotta sit and have whatever conversation needs to be had with one another to resolve that, because that is wild. Like, that's not okay. It's not okay to not like each other anymore. That's not. And then to ignore that, because some of us grew up watching our parents do that. Just ignore how they feel about each other. They literally just stayed together because they chose to, but they didn't want to. And you can see that they literally just tolerating each other, not liking each other, not enjoying each other. We can't have those types of relationships anymore because they have an effect on our community and the other individuals outside of that, because we all have an effect on each other as a whole and individual. But like, regardless of whether or not this man is right or wrong about what he's saying, it's not okay when you feel like that and you on that type of frequency. You can't have the conversation that you need to have to fix it with the person that you gotta fix it with. And we can't be stuck there. Like, we definitely have to move forward from there. And that's really why I picked this video, not to take sides, but just to point out that we're not doing what we need to be doing to fix it. We're just having the conversation about who broke it. And at this point, it doesn't matter, because we both got to put ourselves in a situation where we're doing things that we prefer and both don't prefer in order to fix it. We both gotta fix it. So what difference who it doesn't make who broke it, really, at this point. It don't.
Reality when it comes to this topic. And just to add to that, you got some women that are, good looking and they're chronically single, right? They've been chronically single for 10 plus years. According to them, they can't find.
And again, there is nothing wrong with being there's nothing wrong with being single for any amount of time, whether it's prolonged or not, because not everything is for everybody. It doesn't behoove any of us to make each other beholden to the standards that we have set for ourselves. Like, it's not going to benefit anybody to try to put your standards of what a relationship should be and look like on anybody else, because you don't feel the same way about the stuff that they do. You're not having the same experience in life. That's why you're individuals. You're not the same person. You don't feel the same way. So you're not fulfilled by the same things. So let somebody have whatever they feel like they need in order to feel fulfilled in this moment, like wherever they at. They might not be ready for the thing that they need right now. They might not recognize that right now, but if they're not being toxic, if they're doing what they feel like is best for themselves at the time, and from a point of righteousness in their heart, then let them experience that. If they're not trying to hurt nobody, they're not trying to hurt themselves, they just having an experience that you weren't interested in, let them have that moment. Like, why not?
On a good man, when in reality they passed up on a good man 5-10 years ago.
I used to roster date something crazy. I used to be queen of roster dating. I do not roster date no more, because for me, the energy that comes out of it is like, this is exhausting. I cannot. First of all, men get on my nerves, right? They're annoying, and they really are annoying. And I'm like, now I got to deal with boy being annoying. Like, I can't do that. So, like, for me, it's too exhausting. I don't like exerting my energy. I'd rather exert my energy on one person and be like, all right, this don't work, I'm gonna move on. Yeah. But I used to be heavy roster day. I used to tell men, hey, you're on the roster.
I mean, being ran through is exhausting. Absolutely. I mean, these dudes ain't doing this for nothing, right? All this hookah and crab legs, yeah, I ain't doing this for nothing, right? There better be a happy ending at the end of the tunnel. I'm just saying.
I mean, if we're being honest, both things are true. Like, women definitely have sex at their leisure whenever they decide that they want to, with whoever they dealing with. But it's also the case that they interact with a lot of guys that they have no intention or desire to ever be with intimate.
So if you got a roster of 4, 5, 6, 10 dudes, I mean, even if you're crushing 50% of.
So just because a woman says she's taking up time with more than one guy, it doesn't mean that she's having intercourse with everybody that she's entertaining or being entertained by. Also, you do have occasions where they may want to be intimate with every person that they're entertaining. But just saying that somebody has a roster doesn't give you leeway to just say that they're a hoe.
So if you got a roster of 4, 5, 6, 10 dudes, I mean, even if you're crushing 50% of those dudes, right, at some point in time, yeah, hell yeah, it will be exhausting. So I just find it interesting when these modern women say the quiet part out loud. Okay, they get on these podcasts and tell all books, this, that, and the third. No shame. Absolutely no shame.
Here's
talking to a guy that claims to be interested in dating you and you say something like, oh, I'm going to get my nails done or my hair, I'm going to the mall, and he does not offer to send you money to contribute to that, you need to block him, and you need to block him quickly, okay? We don't have time to be talking to men that cannot contribute to our lives, even in the smallest of ways. Not in this economy.
The word today is job. J-O-B.
Ew, it's giving broke.
You know what, honestly? It's nobody's right to say what's right or wrong for another person to do. If a woman wants to add all of these accessories to herself, that's her prerogative. It's there. She has the option to choose that. If she feels like whoever her significant other should be the one to facilitate that, that's her opinion. And that's something she will have to work out with the person that she ends up, being with. Well, if you don't agree to those circumstances, you don't have to judge her as a good or bad person. You just feel the way that you feel about her stipulations. And how you feel about that is not the same thing as how you feel about her. Like, how you feel about her opinion on something is not the same as how you feel about, them as a person. Like, you might not like the fact, you might like her as a person, but you don't like her idea of how you guys should interact with each other. You don't like that she feels like you should pay her, buy things for her that you don't want her to engage in. Like, maybe you don't want to pay for her nails because you don't want her to have them anyway. Maybe you don't want to pay to get her hair did because you prefer her to wear her natural hair anyway. You don't like the way that she's always covering up her natural beauty. You don't want her. Like, she's not who you're attracted to her, but you don't actually, your soul has no need for this person. There's no gaps for her to fill for you, for real. If you're not, that's not necessarily the case. There may be plenty of gaps that she's filling, but you also have to understand that it's not just the parts of that person that you like that you're taking. If you don't like those things and you don't want to purchase those things for whatever reason, then understand that this is on the other spectrum of y'all frequency, the part that you don't prefer. But it comes with it. Do you want the whole package? Do you want all of this? Or don't go trying to change anybody, because nobody could change for you, even if they wanted to. People can only change for themselves. If they try to change for you, it's not going to be a lasting change. It's going to change back at some point, because they didn't grow. They're just acting. They're playing a character. They didn't grow and develop as a person. They didn't find within themselves their own personal reason to do the things that they were doing. They're only doing it because they were told to, or they felt like they had to in order to get what they want. And once they stop wanting it bad enough to compensate for how bad they don't want to do what they're doing, it's a wrap at that point.
Brokey, new ick unlocked, right?
Yep, we're getting a divorce, people. I found out that my beautiful girl right here was cheating on me this whole time and had somebody else's kid, huh? Ain't that right, baby? Talk to the camera, come on. Tell me what you was doing.
That's tough.
Oh, yeah, she don't want to show face. It's okay.
I
Divorce,
bet.
can we say divorce papers coming? Huh? Can we say? She just now getting home? Ain't that right? Ain't that right, pumpkin?
First of all, no part of this is necessary. Like, why are you laying next to somebody you feel that way about? Like if it's your bed, all right, cool, but you can get her out.
Yeah. So, fellas, if you anything like me, you're gonna be smart and not wipe up these kind of women. You know what I mean? You out here crying because I already served her. Yeah. She did too many times. Ain't that right?
In all honesty, man, it's 10 times out of 10, it's better to just walk away instead of doing all that.
I know, stop. I know. I get it. I know what's going on here. Fellas.
And just as a sidebar, like, one quality of being healed is that you no longer receive any pleasure, or you no longer receive anything from the plight of someone else that you feel like harmed you. Like when you are healed from some hurt that was caused by someone else, you don't feel anything when they're punished. Like you don't have a desire for anything bad to happen to them. Like when you really healed and you done with it, they become like a any other person. Like the sympathy and compassion that you would have for a random stranger on the street, however you would normally act towards somebody that you don't know when you healed, that's how you act towards a person that you feel like harmed you. It just don't matter. You don't feel better. You don't feel worse when you see something bad happening to that person. You don't feel like you want to protect them, but you don't feel like you want to, but you also would just let something unreasonable happen to them. If you would, like in a situation where you would do anything, like you wouldn't let this happen to anybody. You know, you wouldn't allow it to happen to them either. You just be on neutral terms with that person. Like that's what healing means. You're no longer harmed. There's no imbalance there. This ain't healing nor winning.
Be loyal to yourself, because they won't be. You understand? This is what you deal with. Huh? Coming home all late hours of the night.
And I'm not even saying this guy's a bad person. It's just that why are you doing this? Why are you entertaining this? You're not helping you. You're not healing you. You're staying in that same frequency, that same wavelength, that same feeling. Like when you don't want it anymore, when you ready to walk away, like you don't have to put all that extra energy into somebody's downfall. It's not gonna help you really. Just do the best thing for you. You know, you don't have to do the worst thing for them at the same time.
You still tired? Are you making me my breakfast? Huh? Are you making breakfast? Peace out, people. This is my life.
Let me know what you guys think about that. Good on him for leaving the situation and standing on business in regards to her disrespecting him. The only thing that's throwing me up.
He didn't leave the situation. He right there. Talking about what's gonna happen.
Here is that he said too many times. Right? What does that mean exactly?
Right. That might not be the last.
Hey, if she did it one time is all you need, okay? You don't need to have more examples to say too many times or it's happened more than once. Okay, once a woman cheats on you, she no longer respects you. Okay, the relationship is over and you should not be in a situation where you take her back.
I have to thank every man that left me. I would have never been alone this long. and really got to know myself. I feel that as young women, we're devoting ourselves to this programming of love And the truth is, you gotta love everything, not the poor guy that you that you decided to hook up with.
Nasty work. Absolutely nasty. I mean, this is what we're promoting to young women out here. Don't worry about love. Don't worry about family. Getting with a man, having...
I'm not gonna lie. Like, honestly, what she just said was extremely profound and true. However, it doesn't look like she feel it. It looked like she cared, and she just wished she didn't.
Kids, building a legacy. Yeah, don't worry about that. Right? Look at me. I'm 70 plus. Right? I did things right. Meanwhile, she's fighting back tears. Does she look happy?
I hate to be the friend that's always like, that's the bare minimum, that's the bare minimum. But girl, it is the bare minimum. He paid for your food? Great, my dad does that. He said that you were pretty? My mom does that every single day, and all her Facebook friends do too. Oh, he opened your door? My gay
She
best
counting
friend
fingers.
does that. It is the bare minimum, girl, because if he's your boyfriend or if he's your partner, he should want to do those things for you. And if my friends and my family can already do the things that he's doing without romantically loving me,
Okay, hold up. I gotta see how many fingers that was real quick.
he should want to do those things for you. And if my friends and my family can already do the things that he's... I hate to be the friend that's always like, that's the bare minimum, that's the bare minimum. But girl, it is the bare minimum. He paid for your food? Great, my dad does that. He said that you were pretty? My mom does that every single day, and all her Facebook friends do too. Oh, he opened your door? My gay best friend does that. It is the bare minimum, girl, because if he's your boyfriend or if he's your partner, he should want to do those things for you. And if my friends and my family can already do the things that he's doing without romantically loving me, then it is the bare minimum, because a boyfriend who romantically loves you should want to push for more and do more than what you already get. I pay for my friends' dinner. I compliment my friends. Like, have you seen what I post in their Instagram comments on their hot pictures? Like, if he's not doing more than that, if he's not doing more than your best friend would do for you, then it's the bare minimum.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares. I mean, these model women want...
I gotta be honest. Sound like that young man was doing a job with 3 people in your life. If that's not the bare minimum, that's over the maximum.
Want you to put them on pedestals, right? They want you to put them on pedestals. They want you to pretty much treat them like celebrities, as if you're a fan, right? So the fact that she's trying to diminish any good in your heart, the good that you would do and to show to her or towards her, she's pretty much diminishing that. So you're constantly in competition with her mom, with her dad, with her best friend, you know, gay friend, whoever. Yeah, you're in constant competition with those individuals.
Okay, because if my gay best friend can open my doors, and if my mom can pay for my dinners, and if my dad can compliment me daily, and if my dad can text me every single day, and if my best friend can comment on all my Instagram pictures, how hot I am, and post me and repost my things,
See, now she adding
anything
fingers.
that man does is going to be the bare minimum, because he should want to do that as your boyfriend. If he treats you well, if he compliments you, great, he's your boyfriend. He should want to compliment you. If he reposts your stuff, great. He thinks you're pretty. He should. He's your boyfriend. He wants to pay for your dinner.
If your expectation for your significant other is to do everything that you have required every person in your life to do as a display of love for you, what are you doing to earn that much effort? Don't tell me. I don't want to know. I want to know if you know.
Okay, he should want to provide for you because he romantically loves you, duh. Like, it is the bare minimum. And don't get it twisted, I will always appreciate something that a man does for me, or my man does for me. I do appreciate it, but I'll never say like, oh, that's more than I deserve. No, it's the bare minimum.
Yeah, so again, she's trying to keep you on this hamster wheel of...
That's what gaslighting means.
chasing her validation, right? Because if you don't do it, then you're a bad guy. If you do it, then you're supposed to do it. It's like, yeah, you're supposed to do that. So at what point in time is it ever good enough? At what point in time are you exceeding expectations, or she's thrilled that you're doing something?
I'm going to say this. That is a form of extreme manipulation, because the person that's doing that is fully aware of exactly what they're doing. And what they're doing is they're really controlling your mind. Like, they're not giving you the option. They're not giving you an option that would allow you to feel good about yourself. Every option you've been handed at that point is put in place to make her feel good about herself. But there's no option given to you as to something you can do to make you feel good about yourself. There's never, ever an excuse for you to be overly appreciated. You don't get to experience that. Is that the world that you want to be living in? If you're beside a young lady like this? I don't know. I'm just asking.
Because she's always treating whatever you do as the bare bones minimum, right? Especially as a boyfriend. I mean, hey, he's not guaranteed or obligated to do anything for you, right? So I'd rather you connect with a woman that appreciates the things that you do, the small things in life. Not because you're expected to do it, but because she actually values it and she understands that you don't necessarily have to do these things, but she appreciates that you do it, right? So it's kind of looking at it from a half full or half empty perspective. Perspective is everything.
I posted a video that I got broken up with, and I got a couple comments of people saying that I must be the problem because none of my relationships work out. For context, I am a single mother, I'm 27, and I'm a content creator, so I share my life. So people on my page have seen me go through now 2 relationships. I don't like to talk about the first one though, so we're just gonna focus on one. But again, I'm on a dating journey because I do want to be a wife and have a family one day. But I want to address the "something must be wrong with you" comments and explain why there is nothing wrong with me, and this is going to be a great message for young women and even older women who are trying to discover themselves and trying to date again. I consider myself a subjectively beautiful woman, and I am
mature for her.
In a circumstance such as my life, that is extremely intimidating for a man. I'm speaking to myself for a second, and then I'm going to talk about how you can apply this to you. I pay all of my own bills. I buy nice clothes for myself. I travel. I take care of my son by myself.
Give me a second, I gotta go back.
Looking at these things must be wrong with you comments and explain why there is nothing wrong with me, and this is going to be a great message for young women and even older women who are trying to discover themselves and trying to date again. I consider myself a subjectively beautiful woman, and I am successful. In a circumstance such as my life, that is extremely intimidating for a man. I'm speaking to myself for a second, and then I'm going to talk about how you can apply this to you. I pay all of my own bills. I buy nice clothes.
Just for clarification, there's a difference between I'm insecure about this, I'm intimidated about this, and I don't like this. Those aren't the same things.
Clothes for myself. I travel. I take care of my son by myself. I run the household by myself. Looking at these things as a whole, a man cannot come into the picture and only provide financial stability, because I provide that for myself.
Congratulations, you have become the man that you want, right? You can.
He made my point before I could. She's listing off all of these things that a man is supposed to do, and saying, I figured out how to do it so that I don't need you. Okay? Well, for a man walking up to you and you feel that way, it's like well, what am I doing here? And it's not a judgment as if that makes you a bad person or anything. It's just like, what do I do when I get here? I don't know what to do here with you because you're doing everything that I was supposed to. It sounds like you should be looking for the same thing I'm looking for, because we can't both do my job. I mean, I'm not judging, but from the perspective of a man, it's like we get called out for being insecure a lot, but I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing because you're doing it. So why should I feel secure if I'm not able to do the things that I'm supposed to be doing? Like, why am I here? Yeah, it's not a judgment thing. It's honestly, rationally, why am I here? I'm not. Maybe he is insecure because he doesn't even understand why he's there. He's not getting to do the things that he knows he's supposed to do now at this point. Everything that he was brought up to bring to the table to qualify himself, you saying doesn't qualify anymore. And what now? You know? It's not a... sometimes we judge in a whole lot of confusion is really what it be.
Protect and provide and, take care of yourself. You're successful, this, that, the third. You got your degrees. What do you need a man for, right? So let's keep going, because it seems like she's getting to the part where she needs more than the provision, the protecting and providing. But let's keep going.
I'm a single mother. I take care of my son, so I provide protection for my family, my household, me and my son. So the protection from a man and the financial stability from a man does nothing for me. Do I want that? Of course. But I don't need it because I'm surviving and living very comfortably on my own without it. So as a man, when you look at a woman of my caliber, you have to be well in tune with yourself. You have to know how to communicate. You have to be very emotionally aware of yourself. You have to actually provide value to my life. Because with all of the qualities that I have, of course a man would look at that and know that I could provide value, especially a man who desires a family. But a woman such as myself is going to bring out insecurity in a man who has not the ability to connect with himself emotionally, not the ability to communicate, and not really anything to provide other than if he has a good job and makes good money and can.
I'm curious as to what she's calling insecure. It's like, if I was to pursue this woman, her mindset, I wouldn't quite really know what to say to her. I can't look at her and imagine what it would be like to be with this person, because already I know it would have to be outside of my expectations. Because for one, I'm not doing my job and she's doing both of them, so I don't even know what that leaves for me, right? Everything that I know that I'm supposed to do that gives value to this relationship doesn't mean anything. So how do I build love? How do I grow our connection if I can't do anything that's more meaningful than anything else? If all of my effort is equal, if everything that I do is like, thank you, but I didn't need you. I'm constantly aware that I'm not needed. I'm not secure. I could be usurped at any. It don't even have to be that. I could just get dropped off at any time because you don't need me. I don't need to be here. I don't have to be here. You're only being nice to me. What is there to be secure about?
Pay for stuff. It's not enough.
Why would a man feel insecure if he's built himself up? He can protect and provide easily. And he can probably find a woman that doesn't have any kids, right?
And that's another thing. If a man has been sacrificed the experiences that he wanted to have for a prolonged period of time to build up this lifestyle that he felt like he was supposed to secure in order to get to build up this lifestyle, financial situation, whatever have you, a look, that was supposed to get him all of everything that was supposed to mean that he is straight. Like, you've done your job, you're a good man now, right? You get to that point where you're supposed to have everything established that a woman is supposed to expect from you, and you did all this, and you got confidence in yourself and everything that you obtained, because it's exactly what you were supposed to get. It was exactly what you were supposed to do when you did it. You sacrificed and you did it. You got there. And then she tell you that it don't mean anything. You went through all of that solitude, doing without, having to judge yourself, deal with judgment from other people telling you that you're not good enough, telling you that you're not ready, you're not there yet, we don't have a need for you, no validation for yourself. And then you finally get all of it, everything you say you're supposed to have so that you can have confidence in yourself. And then you present this to somebody and they tell you, I don't need it. I don't. My heart will go out to anybody that felt that. That's confusing. That's very confusing. That would be really confusing for any individual that had to experience that. Because what? I did all this because I wanted to be valued, and you don't value anything that I put my effort into. Like, I don't feel comfortable here with you. I don't feel secure here with you because I don't even know what my position is supposed to look like with you doing everything. I don't see room here. Like, it's not a judgment thing. Like, a lot of times guys really have a rational response to what's being presented to them.
Why would a man feel insecure or intimidated dating a single mom? Right? So I just find it fascinating how they try to repackage. I was gonna say a shit sandwich, but how they try to repackage something that, hey, you can probably find a woman that doesn't have any kids.
And a lot of the times men will just settle for women who are pretty but don't have anything to offer, because that woman is going to still take care of the household, still take care of the kids, and be cool with them providing financially, because that woman's not doing anything else in her life outside of that. That's zero shade to the woman. I'm not shading anybody in this at all. But in my situation, I've been forced to be in this grind mode, forced to be in a position where I am playing every single role, and that's just my life and how it is at the moment.
Now, what did you get forced to do all these things by? I mean, she's saying all this outwardly as if it's someone else's, as if there's a reason why someone else needs to know all of these things, right? And yes, they need to know it because it's qualifying her perspective. She feels as though she's had to do all of these things by herself, right? But there's a switch. Like, before you got the idea about being independent, you didn't want to. And I'm not saying women, I'm saying like, period, people. We don't want to. We learn that we either need to or have to, right? You learn that I have these needs and they're not being met by the people who I was told should be meeting them. So I'ma do it. Right? But you don't want to. You want to give those burdens to the individuals who they should lay on, like in your social circle. But you don't have those reliable individuals, so you learn to rely on just you for everything. That's a learning, that's a whole frequency and a state of mind that it's very different from someone who understands how to release things into the hands of others. You can't be both of those people at the same time because they have to operate differently in every aspect of their life. While they're thinking throughout the day, all of their thoughts have to be different. So you, as a person, the way that we work, we don't just transition from one state of thinking to another in an instant. Those types of things are connected to our daily habits and smaller decisions that we make in our lives. They grow into those bigger changes. That being said, if you have the mindset that I'm going to be responsible for doing everything that I need done myself, well, if you, that is a mentality for someone who is single. That is how you be single. That is how you think as a single person. If you want to be with someone, there has to be room for them. There has to be places for them to fit into inside of you, inside of your life. There has to be space. Effort has to be put in to create space for that person to reside in, for that person to have things to do, to say, for that person to have avenues to give support in order for you to have a functional relationship that actually grows and adapts and it's a real relationship. Those are requirements. You have to make space for that person. And if you're doing everything, you're doing the whole life thing on your own, well, there's just going to be needless overlap and not connection, right? You're not going to be connected. You're just going to be running in circles around each other. And that's not really what we are as humans. Those aren't the type of relationships that we pursue with each other. We want to, when we're balanced, we want to grow together and individually.
So
she was forced to be in grind mode. She was forced in this type of environment.
And even if you feel like you developed this mindset because you were forced to, you had to, yeah, okay. But when you're ready for a change, you have to as well.
Was she forced? Or perhaps did she choose this environment? Did she choose the baby dad, the dude that she lay down with? I don't know. I don't know her full story here, but to say that you were forced into it, yeah, I'm not too sure.
Men just don't like that. And this is not for all men, because there are good men out there that are strong within themselves, that are very emotionally aware, that are intelligent, that can communicate. They have all of the things. A lot of them are in relationships. But traditionally, men want to have some type of power. They want to be the leader. They want to be up here. And when I'm also up here, it's not good for them. They don't like that. They don't feel like a man. That's just for like the weak-minded ones. A real man, in my opinion, would look at a woman like me and be so in awe and want to connect with me and want to live in such together.
You know, one thing that I really never understood was why would a woman that's attracted to men, that wants to be in a relationship with a man, come and present herself to him as a complete man herself? Why would you? I never understood why a woman will want to come to a man as a man instead of a woman. Why would you want to come to a man as a complete man yourself? To be with them, like, I could see a homosexual man being attracted to the presentation that women give to men now. More than it would make more sense for a homosexual man to be attracted to it more than it would for a heterosexual man to be attracted to it, because it's like, you're just coming as us. We don't like heterosexual guys. We're not looking for us. We don't want another one of us, or we could just date us. It's that feminine, the womb man that we desire, that we pray for, that we're looking for. It's not the man in you.
Togetherness with somebody who's on the same level as them.
That's a good one.
Honestly, I don't even know why this doesn't make sense to people, but masculinity just is not attractive to straight men. That's why we're straight.
That right there, that's a good one. Right? You're a weak man, and you should be in awe dealing with a single mom. Wow, remarkable. Absolutely remarkable.
And it's really crazy how guys take the opportunity to try to make it seem like being a single parent makes women look negative in some way, when that was most of our mamas. Like, that don't make them a bad person. That doesn't mean that and it also doesn't mean that they didn't grow from wherever they was when they made the decisions they made when they was young. Even if they have having consequences, outcomes on their life now that they don't prefer, it doesn't mean that they haven't grown to a person that wouldn't do that anymore. So don't look at a person and only see their mistakes or their downfalls or their the negative consequences, the things, the circumstances they put themselves into. Don't see all of that and miss the individual.
These somersaults, backflips, and cartwheels. Fascinating.
I really encourage you, if you are a woman who's struggling to date, please pour into yourself, become the best version of yourself, and actually make these men step up to provide some value to you. Like, they need to be a good person. They need to know how to talk, because a lot of relational issues lie in the fact that men do not want to work on themselves. They don't want to have that emotional intelligence. They don't want to have that strong communication. When you're operating at your highest self, you will one day meet somebody who is also operating at their highest self. So I would just never settle. And financial stability is not enough. Please, it's not enough. I've poured so much into myself and making sure that I'm the best version of myself. So there's nothing that could make me believe that I'm the problem. Nobody's perfect in a situation. I'm not saying that. There's issues that arise. I mean, even in the healthiest of relationships, we're humans. But
you know what? Just in general, and this for everybody, if there is a conflict between two parties, there was a fault on both ends.
I look at dating in the sense of, if something doesn't work out, whether it's me that ends the relationship, if it's the other party that ends the relationship, we're just not meant to be together, and that's okay. I said this in my last video. Nothing has to be wrong with you. Nothing has to be wrong with the other person. If things don't work out, then it just wasn't meant to work out. So
That's
don't
true.
let your time of...
You know what? She making a valid point, because in our society, we really don't give each other the room or the option to acknowledge the fact that some people just come in our life for a season, and that's it, and that's all. They were just there for that moment that they was there to do what needed to be done, that could only be done by them, and that wasn't something that you needed done for a long period of time. Like, in our relationships, in our romantic relationships with each other, we have people who come and go for the period that they were supposed to be there. And sometimes we hold on to them way longer than we were supposed to, and sometimes we let them go too early. But they are seasonal sometimes.
Singleness make you believe that something's wrong with you or that you should settle, because that's never the case.
Right? Because she's basically saying, hey, I'm not the issue. I'm not the issue. Okay. Oh.
Like, for sure, if you ever have any type of issue or confusion or misunderstanding with somebody, and you don't see any wrong that you did in that, you're missing something.
Okay. Listen, man, anytime a woman is
Might be a
attractive
lot.
and she's out here chronically single, chances are she's the issue. Okay, I'm just saying. Especially a woman that's a...
You know what? That's not how you can tell. You really want to know if somebody's single, if that was the issue, ask them who fault he was. If you don't hear anything that they did, don't even worry about it and just move around.
single mom out here, you would think by now, okay, maybe just maybe I'm a single mom. Probably didn't make the best decision when it came to the father in the situation. Yeah, let me go ahead and do things a little bit more differently. Let me go ahead and remove the ego, be less entitled, and have some sort of humility in the situation. And, you know, hey, according to the single dating market, I may not get a guy that's 6'5". I may not get a guy that's making $500,000 a year, right? I may have to get a guy that's maybe 5'6", 5'7". Maybe he's making $80,000 a year. You know, he's a good guy. He can still protect and provide. And, you know, regardless of my degrees and my diplomas, although, you know, according to her, she's saying that she's successful, you know, hey, he's a good guy. Okay, he has great character to him. I'm good. I'm good. I'm going to exit the race when it comes to the single dating market, and I'm going to keep it moving, right? But we know how it goes when it comes to these modern women, right? They constantly want the next best thing, thinking.
Everybody definitely should have high standards for themselves, right? They know otherwise. male or female, doesn't matter. However, because of that, because you should have standards for yourself, high standards for yourself. You don't need to have standards for other people, right? You don't need to judge anybody for what they doing and how they are. Because when you align yourself, when you have high standards for yourself, you make choices based off of those standards, and you don't allow certain things around anyway. So even if the difference being between you having standards for yourself instead of having standards for other people, see, that allows you to not judge them. Because when you have standards for yourself, any person that love and appreciate you is going to value how you feel. They're going to value the standards that you set for yourself from a perspective of self-love and righteousness, right? So if you tell them, hey, I'm not comfortable with this in my presence, I don't allow myself around these types of things, then that person has an option. That person has the option to not do those things anymore, or just not do those things around you. And by you standing in your own righteousness and your own sovereignty as an individual, you can then, just by shining your light brightly, not on someone else directly, but just being bright yourself, you can impact others. Because if you have a good relationship with somebody that just have some qualities about themselves that need to be worked out, that doesn't mean you don't have to push them out of your life. You don't have to sit there and say, I can't be around you. You can just tell them, hey, I love you, but I can't be around it. And then maybe that time that they'll choose to be around it and be around you. They'll do it when you're not around, and when you around, they won't. In that period of time of them being free from whatever vice that is, or having that time away from whatever it is, might give them a different perspective about it. They might learn to enjoy not doing whatever stipulation that you placed upon yourself not to be around. So it's very difficult in life. It gets real difficult because we have a tendency to judge each other instead of the act itself or the idea itself. And we've gotten so far away from the place where we understood that all we really had to do was maintain self. Once you maintain you, that's why self-love is so important, and the most impactful people preach for you to take care of yourself, to be aware of self, because once you get you together, everything else is going to fall in line anyway. You don't have to worry about anything else. Once you find you, and I don't mean do what somebody else thinks you should. Once you start doing what you know you should, everything else is going to find its way. The only reason you might be confused about anything in your life right now is because you're not doing what you truly in your heart desire. And a lot of people doing that because they've been misled about what it is that they actually feel in their heart. They feel something and allow somebody, they feel things very strongly within themselves, but they allow somebody else to come in and paint the picture to them of what that feeling looks like. And they chasing the picture of what it looked like instead of the actual feeling, that instead of doing the things that line up with those feelings that they have inside, how they truly feel, what they really need. You gotta sometimes go back and rethink every thought that you had already. You know what I'm saying? A whole lot of the thoughts that we have in our heads not really ours. They were given to us. They were thought for us. And For me, I didn't know me. I had to piece me together after I really got to see how many ideas and thoughts were in my head, but I never had. They were told to me over the years when I was younger and when I was older, and I never thought for myself what it really means or how I really feel or what things really mean to me. It's like we all handed this narrative of what life is, but we don't take the time to, what does this whole big thing mean to me? What does it mean for me? What should I do with my life? Like outside of a job or a career or a house, like who do I want to be as a person before I go? You know, those are critical elements to the experience that we have in life. If we don't process those emotions, those thoughts, then we don't have a good navigation system to get wherever we're trying to go or wherever we need to be. And a hard time discerning the two. So with all that being said, I'm going to get out of here and I'll catch you next time.